Welcome everyone, my name is Sergeant Alonzo Raymond, and today I'll be instructing a class on performing voice communication. If you need further information, it's in accordance with 21-1-0 Mike Charlie Tango, which essentially is the Warrior Skill Handbook. Physically in there, if you look at the task number in 113 Charlie Oscar Mike 1022, it will get you the specific instructions on the class I will be instructing today. Today's risk assessments will be low, mainly since we're in a closed environment. You don't have to necessarily address the outside weather conditions. However, just be cognizant of slips, trips, and falls with various wires around. Stay hydrated, as well as this time of pandemic. And try your best to keep social distance away from others. Alright, let's go. Can I get an audience member? Seeing there's only one, Sergeant Ayer, may you please read the lesson scope.
Lesson scope. At the end of this 30-minute learning event, you will be able to use the operational radio set effectively. You will also be able to communicate and transmit a message.
Perfect. Just a quick question to know where you might be at. Have you ever operated a radio before?
I have operated a radio.
Alright, so you have some background knowledge.
Yes.
Alright, perfect. That's going to be good for later on. Alright. Would either audience member like to read?
Action. Perform voice communications by entering and leaving the net. Condition. Given 1. The operational radio set for each net member warmed up and set to the net frequency. 2. A call sign information card 5x8 consisting of net member duty position S1 to S2. Net call sign, letter number, letter. Suffix list. Net control station NCS 46 S-1 39 S-2 13 and a message to be transmitted. 3. Situation. The net is considered to be secure and authentication is not required. 4. ACP 131. Note, this task may have as many net members as there is equipment available. Each net member must have a different suffix and message to transmit. Standard. Perform voice communications by entering and leaving the net in alphanumeric sequence and use of correct pro words, phonetic alphabet, and numerals that result in successful communication of the message.
So going to the condition, essentially what this is explaining is throughout this training event today, I've already given one of the audience members, Sergeant Ayer, a card, which he will be helping me instruct a scenario on how to effectively communicate over the operational radio. And just essentially what's going to be the contents of the communication between different people regarding the code words, phonetic alphabet, and the numerals. Alright, number pronunciation guide. This is just a quick guide, kind of give you an idea how to correctly pronunciate each of the numbers over a radio setting. Specifically, the ones that might stick out outside of the way you normally say them is 0, tree instead of 3, bower, 7, and 9er. Any questions on this slide? Moving on to the phonetic alphabet. Being in the military setting, the majority of us should know our phonetic alphabet, but this is here just as a reference, just in case you forgot a couple. Throughout this slide, the last one, and the one coming after, just make aware and try to remember all of this you can, because in the end, these will become essential. Specifically this slide, these are the pro words, the specific kind of words you would use on a radio setting to have proper etiquette. Specifically for words such as say again, you would use this if you want someone to repeat themselves, say repeat, because repeat has a very different meaning in particular situations. So you want to try avoiding it and using not necessarily slang, but words such as say again. So if you can make a mental note, if you need me wait a second, I can. These are just good reference for future events in this block of instruction. Any questions on this slide? Alright, this is just a quick idea of what the operational radio might look like. Another name is Sapers. Since we don't have the actual radio with us, this will just give you a general idea of what it might look like when you operate one. And Sergeant Ayer, since you did say you have operated one before, is this similar to one you use, or
Yes, it is. Particularly coming from a striker brigade, that bottom left picture is definitely the most relatable to it. And all of our strikers that need to make sure that they have radio communication will have that type of computer set up inside of the radio station. And then having to program it from that.
Alright, so you're pretty familiar with that. Alright, first step of our block instruction. Perform entering the net. This is the bare essentials of what will be required each day. Sergeant Ayer, can I have you read the slide, please?
Our performance steps. Enter the net. Alpha. Determine the abbreviated call sign and answering sequence, for your duty position. Bravo. Respond to the NCS issuing a net call. Charlie. Answer in alphanumerical sequence. Note, at this time the NCS acknowledges and the net is open.
Alright, quick reference for all of this. I will be the NCS for this scenario. I will be conducting today, and I've already given Sergeant Ayer the abbreviated call sign as well as its answering sequence. This is to clarify, specifically for answering an alphanumeric sequence. If we had more audience members, this would make a little more sense, but essentially, Ayer today will be Sierra 1. If there was another one, Sierra 2, Ayer would begin with it, following whoever would be Sierra 2. And at this time, quick question. Yes. Sorry.
What does NCS stand for?
NCS is Network Communication System.
Okay.
Any other questions before I move on? Alright, so our first scenario, I will be the net. So I will begin. This is Echo Tree Echo, over. And then Sergeant Ayer in this case would then be the first person to respond because he is Sierra 1 in the alphanumeric sequence.
Alright. So then I would respond this Echo Tree Echo, this is Echo Tree 9, over.
Correct. And since we don't have any more participants, I will chime in. Net, this is Echo Tree Echo, out. And since there's no more traffic, this is what this ends. Is there any questions on this slide on how to enter a network? Yes, sir.
Just to make sure that I'm getting the clarification right, net is what your call sign is and calling out to others, correct? And then Echo Tree Echo, no, sorry, I apologize. Net is you're communicating to the net entirely.
Correct.
I respond with Echo Tree Echo, which is your call sign?
Correct.
And then this is Echo Tree 9, oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So essentially it's always going to be the person. Wait.
First calling in, you're trying to let them know who you are.
Yes.
And then you don't know who's on the net, so you respond back with your call sign so that the person calling in can see who it is that they're calling to.
Precisely, yes. Any other questions before we move on? All right. So second, Sergeant Nichols, would you be able to read the slide, please?
Sure. 2. Send a message. A. Listen to make sure the net is clear. Do not interrupt any outgoing messages or ongoing communications. Sorry. Bravo. Call the NCS and tell the operator the priority of the messages you have for his or her station. Charlie. Receive a response from the NCS that he or she is ready to receive. Delta. Send your message using the correct pro words and pronunciation of letters and numbers. Echo. Get a receipt for the message.
So going one by one real quick, so just making sure the net is clear. Unless you have very impertinent information, let anything across the net just finish out their sequence. Specifically for, which section is it? Priority. So unless you have like a medical or some type of pertinent information that needs to be urgently set out, again, just wait it out unless it's pertinent information that needs to be sent immediately. And then, of course, referencing back to the slides that had the pro words, as well as the phonetic letters and numerical numbers as well. Those are going to be essential for effective communication across the board with other soldiers and peers. And getting a receipt for the message would be things such as good copy, or if it's bad copy, they might follow again with like say again for you to repeat yourself. Any questions on the slide? Finally, Sergeant Ayer, can you read this slide?
For the performance steps, Tree, leave the net in alphanumerical sequence. Note, the NCS acknowledges and the net is closed. Note, the following call signs are used in this task as an example. Net call sign Echo Tree Echo. And November Charlie Sierra. Echo Flower 6. Sierra 1, Echo Tree Niner. Sierra 2, Echo 1 Tree. Alpha. Answer in alphanumerical sequence. Bravo, you receive a call from the NCS who issues a closed down order.
And kind of going through this again, leaving the net in alphanumerical sequence, so it would be, in this case, Sergeant Air, since in this case it would be me, but Sergeant Air would then follow, since he's Sierra 1, and then if we had another participant, it would be Sierra 2. That's just how you enter and leave a net, just based on the sequence you had been given in a call sign. And any questions pertaining to this slide? Perfect. Alright, another scenario. This is just for us leaving. So net, this is Echo Tree Echo, close down, over.
Echo Tree Echo, this is Echo Tree Niner. Roger out.
Perfect. And this is where we end since we do not have any other participants. Any questions on this slide? Oh, sorry.
As the net, what would you say then once everybody rogers out? Would you say anything further, or is that just where the end of the communication is?
This is just where the end of the communication ends. Once the close down over is essentially the final instruction, and once everyone's acknowledges, the last person says out and ends the communication.
Okay.
Alright, and now we're finally on to the evaluation stage. So, Sergeant Air, the card I gave you at the very bottom has a message. If you can just take a couple minutes to write 15-25 words using the correct code words that we learned earlier, and phonetic alphabet and numerals. You ready to start here?
Yes.
Alright, this is Echo Tree Echo. I have received word that Sierra 1 has a message for me. Send it. Over.
Echo Tree Echo, this is Sierra 1. Chow will be served at 1900 tonight. Over.
Perfect. This is Echo Tree Echo. Close down. Over.
Echo Tree Echo, Sierra 1 copies. Roger out.
Perfect. That's a perfect example, and I would give this particular soldier a go. Alright, task proficiency, start on Sanford, start on live. As of right now, I observe everyone in this class to be proficient. However, if there were to be any failures, there will be another class conducted here in the Conspiracy Lounge tomorrow, August 20th, at precisely 1100. And from here, is there any further questions before we move on? Alright, a quick summary. We went over the phonetic alphabet, just as a refresher, some of the ways to correctly pronunciate the numerals, as well as touching on the basis of code words and some of the proper usage of it, as well as just how to properly receive and transmit, specifically on how to enter the correct way and how to exit the net in the correct way, using an operational radio set. Any further questions? Alright. No further questions? Alright. Quick after action review before you hit that. The risk assessment is still remain low. I did not observe any injuries. Slip trips or falls specifically. Everyone seemed to be stayed hydrated. People kept their distance as well as they could. From this, we will follow and conduct the after action review. If there's any sustainments, things need to be improved upon next class, I'm all ears. Sorry.
As a sustainment, I thought the flashcards to help write out messages and keep track of what your net member is during the class was very efficient.
I thank you for that. I will definitely make sure to keep doing that in the future. Any improvements?
A couple of the slides I thought were a little wordy, but I understand that the majority of them is just the phonetics of Radio Talk itself.
So just try and figure out like where in those you can slim down a little bit or add an extra slide.
Should kind of like summarize in a shorter term too easy.
Sustain. You are able to decrease the amount of filler words in between your thoughts.
I did notice I did still use a lot of uhs and ums, but I would try
But
to like,
much less than the last
Right,
one. So.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Alright, and from there, that concludes this presentation and the block of instruction. Thank you.